Hello, welcome to the Author's Lounge. My name is Cheryl Mays and I'm your host. And I am so excited today because I have with me a subject matter expert. We have been doing these segments where we invite someone that is just prolific in how they're helping authors move from one level to another level. And so today I have with me Miss Cathy Fyock, who is the Business Book Strategist. And Cathy works with thought leaders and professionals who want to write a book as a business growth strategy. And for some people, you might be going, well, wait a second, I thought about that. How does it work? Well, you're going to find out. So stay with us because she is the author of 10 books, including the one she's going to share with us today, which is Speaker Author, Sell More Books and Book More Business. So stay tuned and we'll be right back with Miss Cathy Fyock.
DreamSpire Books Virtual Launch Box. Everything you need for a successful virtual book launch in one place. Timelines, press release templates, social media advertising info, graphic design, an interview on our streaming network, and a personal coaching session. Don't forget your thank yous and so much more. Visit us at www.dreamspirebooks.com for more information.
Welcome back to the Author's Lounge. I'm your host, Cheryl Mays, and we are going to visit with Miss Cathy Fyock, who is the Business Book Strategist. So, hello, Miss Cathy.
Hey, how are you doing, Cheryl?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us here today. I always get excited when we have subject matter experts that can come on and just shed some light, share some golden nuggets that people can walk away with and just give people ideas about what does that next level look like, especially for an author.
Yes, because I am a true believer in the power of a book. A book is absolutely magical, but only if you know how to wield its magic. So I think that is something that a lot of authors, they just think, I just need to write the book. But no, you've got to now do some things with it in order to reap all of the benefits.
Absolutely. And it's so interesting that you said that because I speak to authors, all the time, whether they are new authors or seasoned authors. And there's always that elephant in the room or that underlying question of what next? What do I need to do now that I've written the book? And how do I take it to build a platform?
Yes. So that is what I'm really passionate about. And for starters, I think one of the things we think about is the launch event. It's like a day in time, a moment in time. And it really isn't. It's about a process over a year or more that gets your book out there and in the hands of potential readers and clients. So I think that's the first key element is don't think about it as one day, one point in time. So even if your book launched 3 months ago, a year ago, you can still be promoting it and marketing it and leveraging the power that you have in that book.
That's so important because oftentimes you think, okay, I'm on to book 2, or I'm on to book 3. And you literally stop promoting the first book, that initial book. You stop promoting that book. And so what you're sharing is continue to promote the book because it's still a part of your business.
Yes, it's still probably one of the most credible tools that you have. I mean, being the author of a book makes you the authority by its very definition. And so using that and continuing to use that, but sometimes I think we just run out of fresh ideas. So it's always great to get re-energized and learn how to put some more energy into that book.
I think, that is so appropriate because, people talk about writer's block. Right. And so what does that mean? I believe in the power of words. And so I always say a writer's pause. So you're not blocked.
That's right.
you just pause for a moment so that you can do what you said, right? Recharge, just kind of do a pattern interruption so that you can get back to something new and fresh.
That's right. That's right. But it's all about continually thinking about, is it on my email signature? Is it on my website? Do I have ongoing social media posts that are promoting the book? Do I have a speaker author one sheet prepared? And is that content on my website? Those are really important details to not overlook.
You know, and we're going to talk about the one-sheeter because you did an entire program.
Yes.
A one-sheeter, and people thinking whether it's passé to have a one-sheeter, are they still looking at one-sheeters? You know, how do you use it if you've never used one before? And so we're going to talk about that. But before we talk about that, I do want to talk about how you help authors. So as a book strategist and getting people to get their book to be more of a business.
Yes.
How do you go about making that transition for a author?
Well, first of all, we start with a strategy session. That's the first step in my process because it's important that you have a book that is aligned with your business. Again, my forte is in helping people who want to write a book to grow a business. And not every book that you write will grow your business. So it's first deciding on the book that will be the curriculum for your training program, or the book that will be the calling card that you hand to a prospect, or the tool that you use when you are developing an online course. So having a really clear strategic plan for your book is probably one of the most important initial elements to make sure that you write the right book. So when I'm working with the clients, we always start with a strategy session. And then once we have that strategy put together with the purpose, the targeted reader, the thesis statement, the structural outline, that's when we then have start having regular meetings, usually weekly at first and then every other week, to make sure you're on target and you're on plan. And then I augment that with a group coaching practice because I believe that it's important as an author to be part of a community, part of a tribe. So I have put together a fabulous author community, and we get together and celebrate what we've accomplished and work on tips and ideas to make our writing more effective. And then I always do writing exercises to help strengthen everyone's writing muscle. We always leave the call by stating our intentions for going forward. I also, what I do for my authors is have them start thinking about the end before they get to the writing the last word in their book. So what we do is when they're about 80% complete with their book, they can enter into my speaker author mastermind group. And this is a group that is focused on the publishing and promotion of the book. So it's how do you get it out there? How do you get testimonials for the book? How do you pick the right publisher? How do you make the right decision that's going to help your book do what you want it to do for your business? So that's my one-on-one coaching program. I also have other services. I do a speaker author mastermind for folks who are either complete with their books or at the 80% completion mark, help them get it across the finish line and start promoting it and developing those plans. I also do writing retreats, and I have my next one coming up in January 14th through 16th. And then I occasionally do some special events like my author quarantini that I'm going to be having coming up here on January 6th.
That's the one I bought. That's the one I registered for because
yes.
That just sounded like it was going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
You know, this is so interesting because you said several things in there that I know authors are going to be looking for, and that is, you know, how do you get more testimonials? How do you actually leverage that book now to be something that you can use to initiate your business contacts? And I think those are very, very important pieces. And so we're going to continue this conversation.
Good.
So, guys, we are here with Miss Cathy Fyock, the Business Book Strategist. And please return, because we're going to continue this, and she's going to talk about how to actually market yourself as an author. Thanks.
DreamSpire Books Virtual Launch Box. Everything you need for a successful virtual book launch in one place. Timelines, press release templates, social media advertising info, graphic design, an interview on our streaming network, and a personal coaching session. Don't forget your thank yous and so much more. Visit us at www.dreamspirebooks.com for more information.
For joining us again here on the Authors Lounge. I am sitting with Miss Cathy Fyock, the Business Book Strategist, and we were talking about promoting yourself as an author and all of the opportunities that you have available to help authors through that promotional process, and the retreats that you have, the masterminds, that sense of community that you have formed for authors to, collaborate with other authors and to just hear a voice other than your own.
Yes.
I think it's so very, very important, especially as an author. It's like we're always into our heads trying to figure out wording and processes. And sometimes it's just having a conversation with someone else that understands what you're going through.
That's right. Right. And if you're an extrovert like me, and I'm guessing, Cheryl, you might be an extrovert too. I don't know. But if that's the case, sometimes us extroverts have to say it out loud in order to process the information. So with many of my authors, they are extroverts. They need to say it out loud to someone, and to have that conversation is really a powerful tool.
It truly is. I can think of times when I've had conversations with people that aren't authors, and then the same conversation with the person that is an author, and you kind of get two different viewpoints. It's kind of like two different conversations. One, they kind of understand, where you're going, or, what you're going through. And the other one is great because it's from the sense of a reader.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I think that is awesome. So now I want to talk about the one-sheeter.
Yes.
Because I think that's like a missing F for a lot of authors. Now, as a speaker, we know that that's something that we have to have.
You have to have it.
But for authors, people don't get that it's the same premise. So can you go into that? Are they passé? Are people still using one-sheeters first question?
Yes, they are. They absolutely are. In fact, my co-author for the speaker author, Lois Kramer, likes to say, you only need to use a speaker author one sheet if you want to get booked to speak. So, yeah, they are not passé at all. And meeting planners still want to know in one handy sheet of paper or one screenshot, if you will, the basic information. Who are you? What are your topics? What can you speak about? What groups are you particularly good at addressing? So your speaker author one sheet is your positioning tool to allow you to speak about your book's topic for different groups, whether it be a book signing or a conference or a program. Having a speaker author one sheet in this case is really important because it gives all that information to the meeting planner so that they can make a hiring decision. Many times it's not one person that hires you to speak. It's a committee. It's a group of folks. And so you may not, as the author, have the ability to connect with everyone. That's why having all your information on a one sheet is a powerful tool, because it allows everyone on the committee to see you, to see what your topics are, to understand the value that you're bringing to audiences, and to get a real sense of what that experience is going to be like.
So can you explain, is there too much information to be on a one? Can you have too much information? on a
Yes.
one-sheeter.
I've seen people try to cram stuff so it's like teeny tiny little print. And no, we want to make it legible. So you need to be judicious with the information that you want to include. You want to have good white space so that it's easy to read, easy to scan. So yes, there is such a thing as too much information. Now, what you can do, especially because many times we're sending these electronically, we can have a one sheet be front and back or 2 actual pages. So that is absolutely doable. So don't limit yourself to one sheet if you have lots of information you want to include. And the more experienced you are as a speaker and author, the more information you may want to include. You may have a number of testimonials from clients who've heard you speak who love you, from readers who love your book and your message, about different speaking topics that you might be able to address. So that's a lot of information that you may want to convey. So use the space that you need, whether it's one sheet, 8.5 by 11, or 2. Those are important to kind of important information.
You know, it's so important. I was just sitting here looking at a one-sheeter and all the elements that are entailed on it. And there's a lot of information that you can include on a one-sheeter that is literally, you know, your calling card, like that introduction piece when you don't have the ability to verbalize or verbally speak to someone.
Yes. And photographs and illustrations are really powerful on a one sheet. Mm-hmm. So definitely have a great headshot of you. It could be just a simple headshot, or it could be of one of you speaking. But you should have a great headshot. You should have the cover art for your book, the front cover, so that people say, oh, an author, I get it. And then what you may want to do, some of my clients who've been in front of really great corporate audiences or in front of different media outlets, they include those logos on their one sheet. And that's a really powerful way of just showing, oh, I have been on network television. I have been on these radio programs. I have done these podcasts. And that's a great way to get that information out there.
You know, it's interesting. So for a new author, if this is their first book and they're looking at a one-sheeter and saying, I don't have enough to put on a one-sheeter, what's your suggestion for that?
Well, you probably do. You can include, for starters, you want to include a little bit about you. And it's not your curriculum vitae. This is not all of your accomplishments and credentials. It's just the ones that are important for the reader / audience, or in this case, the meeting planner. So what's going to be important for them to know is that you've been a speaker before, if you have. Where have you spoken? What are some of the credentials that are related to your topic? If you've written a nonfiction book around subject matter, it's really important to show the connection there. So, for example, when I'm putting together my bio, my little bio, I want to be sure to say that I'm an author of 10 books in addition to being a book coach. So those things are important to include. So that's one piece, is just the author, about the speaker. You can also include about the book, a little summary. Maybe the summary you painstakingly wrote for Amazon, that can be on your one sheet as well. You want to think about speaking topics. Are there several topics that might be related around the book's content that would be of interest? Or is there one primary topic, but different ways that you might deliver it? Can you deliver this via webinar or a virtual platform? Can you deliver this as an online course? Or can you deliver this as a keynote presentation or a workshop session? So including those things. So that information alone can take up some information. Also, if you're a fairly new speaker, if you haven't been speaking very much or not at all. You might just use the endorsements from your book that really speak to your credentials as an author that would position you with the meeting planner. You also want to be sure and include your contact information. How do people reach you? Can they call you on the phone? Is there an email address? Is there a website for more information? You want to be sure that you have all of that clearly outlined on your one sheet.
This is such great information, Cathy. And I know you deliver this type of information to your authors all the time. And is there one prevalent question that you hear from authors when you're just like, yep, I get asked that all the time?
Well, as it relates to the one sheet, I would say some people say, well, what does it really need to look like? And here is my best tip for authors. If you have not put in a one sheet together, if you've not seen other speaker author one sheets, go to Google and Google speaker author one sheets. Or you can do author one sheets or speaker one sheets. But speaker author one sheets, you'll get a host of examples. And what you'll actually see are some examples of one sheets. And this is a great way for you to say, okay, this is what my competition is doing. This is what other authors are doing. And am I competitive? Do I have something that looks really polished and professional? I've seen some new speakers and authors send me their one sheets and they look so homemade. It's just like in Word and it's simple and there's no graphics and there's no illustrations. There's no pictures and they really look flat. They need to be designed. So, what I would suggest is working with a graphic designer to set you up with a template that you can then change and do some wordsmithing. I had a graphic designer do it in PowerPoint, which is what I know best, so that I can go in, make changes. If I have a new speech, if I have a new book, if I have new information that I want to include, I can go in and edit those myself, and I don't have to go back to the graphic artist to create a whole new one sheet and pay that fee all over again. So this way I keep it simple and updated and relevant, because there are some things too that you might want to put in for one particular audience that isn't right for another audience. So if I'm speaking, for example, for an HR, a human resources audience, which is my background, it's going to be very different than the information that would be included for authors or prospective authors. So consider who is looking at your information, what information they will value, and then tailor it to meet those needs. And you may end up with several one-sheet versions. So, for example, with me, I might have an HR version, a book coach version, an author version. So think about the folks who will be reviewing your one sheet, and then think about tailoring it to their needs and creating something very specific. Because the more you can say, I know your group, I understand your group, I come from your group, I understand the concerns, then you're going to be more likely to be hired by that meeting planner.
This is such great information. I'm taking notes, so I'm going to go look at my one sheeter.
Okay. What are you going to change, Cheryl? Are you already thinking about some things?
Absolutely. I truly am. I think it's one of those things where you create something, and because you're doing 1,000 things throughout the course of a day, to what you're saying is to have multiple ones.
Yes.
And that's probably a missing F, for me, is to have multiple ones, and I'm sure for some other folks too. So I think that was some great advice. And then to go on and look and see what, your competitors are using, so that you don't have something that looks homemade in a Word doc and they're, looking at something that's on a glossy, or it's on a, the pictures are just, high definition.
Yeah. If their layout may be for color, they may have big corporate names and so forth. You want to look competitive. So you'll need to think about upping your game just a little bit, and perhaps using a graphic designer to have it really pop and be the professional looking document you want it to be.
Well, this is awesome. Cathy, thank you so much. I know that this is a topic that a lot of authors are going to appreciate, and to be able to say, oh my gosh, I hadn't thought about that. Now, that gives me something to think about as you're trying to promote your book and to get your book to get you onto stages or into, businesses where you can literally talk about it.
Yes.
So thank you so much. Oh my gosh, this has been amazing, guys. And you have the book. Show your book.
The Speaker Author by Cathy Fyock, me, and Lois Kramer. So it's a great book. If you are interested in selling more books and booking more speeches, that's what it's all about.
There you go. And that book is available on Amazon.
Yes, it is.
So guys, you can get the book on Amazon and read it, find out how to get your book to business. And then you can always reach out to Miss Cathy Fyock. We're going to have her information. And very quickly, your website is?
CathyFyock.com.
It's FYOCK.
You got it. You got it.
Miss Cathy, you have an amazing day. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Wow, that was awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I got some really great pieces of information. I'm going to go back and check my one-sheeter. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to Cathy. She is a book business strategist coach, and she can truly help you get your book to help to elevate your business. And then join us here on the Authors Lounge on DreamSpire TV, where we chat with authors around the globe. We bring you subject matter experts that can help you level up what you're doing as an author. And definitely follow us on Instagram at DreamSpire Books. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at DreamSpire TV. And also join our Facebook group at DreamSpire Books. We would love for you to be a part of the community. We also have a lot of opportunities with our bookstore, and definitely visit our website, DreamSpireBooks.com, because that's where all of the information rests. My name is Cheryl Mays, and I am your host. And please continue to watch us, join us, share us, invite others to partake in the party, because we just have so much fun here. So you have an amazing day.